Hello everybody. Alright, 50 seconds to go. Fucking, we're reacting to this shit, boys. Let's fucking get into it. Don't mind me drinking coffee, don't mind anything. We got 40 seconds on the clock. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna be eating because I'm about to go to work in a bit. Don't mind anything. Literally, don't care about any of this. This is all that matters. PoE, let's go. Fucking crazy. That's it. We're a fucking reaction channel now. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Oh my goodness. I'm so fucking hyped. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go, boys. Siege of the Atlas. Siege of the fucking Atlas. Let's go. Fuck, my phone. Shit, my alarm. The good old days. Go, baby. Let's fucking go, baby.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Thank you for joining us as we unveil Path of Exiles' next big expansion, Siege of the Atlas.
Yes.
Since the Atlas of Worlds was introduced in 2016, we have released 3 large endgame expansions, each evolving Path of Exiles' endgame in a different way. Today, I am proud to present our 4th endgame expansion, which launches on PC and Mac on February 4th, and on Xbox and PlayStation on February 9th.
Blow my
Twitch
mind,
drops
Chris.
are enabled for today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below to link your account and be eligible to earn the Wasteland Wings. We've got a lot to show you in today's livestream, so I'm going to cover a lot of ground quickly. We'll start with a trailer for Siege of the Atlas, and then dive into learning about the pinnacle bosses you'll face as you explore the new Atlas of Worlds.
Yes.
We'll then talk about the new way you customize your Atlas experience. Rewards are next, with a focus on both the new itemization and crafting possibilities for endgame items, and the new unique and currency items you can earn by defeating the pinnacle bosses. Then we'll cover changes to how the Atlas works with its new game systems before revealing the Arch Nemesis Challenge League, which launches alongside Siege of the Atlas.
Woo!
After a summary of what game balance changes we're making in this expansion, we'll have a Q&A session where Ziggy D asks me questions from the community. Finally, we'll post the full patch notes as soon as the livestream ends. Let's check out the trailer for Siege of the Atlas.
Let's go! Let's go!
Cirrus is dead. Zana has chosen Exile.
Okay.
But the Atlas of Worlds remains a beacon for Eldritch Horrors.
Yes, let's do it.
We imprisoned the Elder. We placated the Maven. We've been preparing for the arrival of another, but we never expected Thor. They embody insatiable hunger, crushing darkness, searing flame, merciless wrath. If we don't stop them, they will consume everything. This is a war for our very existence. Here. Stand with us, or we will all perish.
Let's fucking go! There's so much in there. 4 new bosses! Ooh!
The events in Siege of the Atlas take place after the defeat of Cirrus. With Zana leaving to pursue her own agenda, Commander Karrick has taken responsibility for defending the Atlas and Rayclast against whatever Eldritch Horrors might arrive. Because Oriath was decimated by both Katava and then Cirrus, Karrick has moved several map devices to an isolated island in the Karui archipelago and has established a militia in order to prevent another event like the Cirrus incident. In this expansion, you will join Karrick's militia and will be asked to scout the front lines of the Atlas for threats. After encountering the Maven, you will learn that 2 more Eldritch Horrors like her or the Elder are on their way to the Atlas. Unlike her though, their intentions are driven by the need to consume absolutely everything they encounter. You must learn what you can do about these entities and attempt to prevent the existential threat they pose to Rayclast.
Yes.
In Siege of the Atlas, the 2 new Eldritch Horrors are the Searing Exarch and the Eater of Worlds. These are similar to other pinnacle Atlas bosses of the past, such as the Elder, the Shaper, the Maven, and Cirrus.
The
You will
design!
hunt down these 2 bosses and their sub-bosses, the Black Star and the Infinite Hunger. You will be able to pursue both Eldritch Horrors at the same time, but you can choose which you are pursuing on a map-by-map basis. In mid-tier maps, you'll randomly encounter the influence of either the Searing Exarch or the Eater of
Conquerors
Worlds.
2.0, let's go!
The Maven understands the threat that these Eldritch Horrors pose to her plans. She will modify your map device so that when entering maps, you can choose to add either the influence of the Maven or any Eldritch Horror you have encountered. As you run subsequent maps influenced by the Searing Exarch or the Eater of Worlds, the amount of influenced monsters in those maps increases as that Eldritch Horror gets closer to you. Eventually, you'll encounter either the Black Star or the Infinite Hunger, one of the sub-bosses. You must defeat that boss in order to continue progressing closer to the horror you are pursuing. These bosses have exclusive new unique items in their drop pools. You're likely to have encountered the influence of both horrors by this point and can choose which one you're pursuing in each map. Finally, in the highest tiers of maps, you will encounter the Searing Exarch or the Eater of Worlds themselves. If you are able to defeat these extremely difficult foes, they can drop their own exclusive new unique items and Eldritch currency items, which we'll describe later in the livestream.
Oh yeah.
Once you have slain the Searing Exarch or the Eater of Worlds once, you can then farm them. In order to do so, you must complete a series of tier 14 or above maps with that Eldritch Horror's influence applied. You'll eventually find a key that allows you to challenge the Black Star or the Infinite Hunger again. As this key to the fight is tradable, it's not a strict requirement that you slay this first boss, but the item rewards will strongly encourage you to do so. After continuing to farm tier 14 or higher horror-influenced maps, you will receive another tradable key to fight the Searing Exarch or the Eater of Worlds, giving you another shot at their exclusive rewards. The keys to the farmable versions of these bosses can be rolled like regular maps, but with their own mod pool. This allows you to control the difficulty and rewards even further. Earlier, I mentioned that maps can be influenced by the Searing Exarch or the Eater of Worlds. Before we move on, I wanted to go into more detail about what that actually means.
Please do.
In influence maps, as you defeat enemies, altars themed around the Searing Exarch or the Eater of Worlds occasionally appear where you kill those enemies. These altars give you the choice between 2 options that can either modify your character, influenced monsters, or the boss of the map by increasing rewards but also increasing difficulty.
Alright!
You can encounter multiple altars per area, so sometimes you can drastically affect the difficulty and rewards of a map as you play through it. It's also fine to ignore it and choose not to increase the difficulty and reward of the map if you feel that it's already challenging enough. An example of a modification is altering the map boss so that all of its damage shocks, but also causing it to drop an additional Eldritch currency item as a reward. We'll explain what these new currency items do later in the livestream.
So basically just always on.
In the last iteration of the Atlas, you needed to use Watchstones to both unlock new maps and raise the level of maps across your Atlas. This required grinding Conquerors and managing the optimal placement of 16 different Watchstones. In Siege of the Atlas, we've removed Watchstones and have restored the hidden maps back to the base Atlas so they don't have to be unlocked over time. We've added much of the power from craftable Watchstones to Atlas passives so that you can still access the benefits you're used to without the busy work of managing Watchstones. Despite the era of Watchstones being over, we do really like the ability to raise the tier of maps on your Atlas, so that eventually all of them are tier 16. To this end, we have introduced Voidstones. You can earn up to 4 of these, one each from the Uber Elder, the Maven, the Searing Exarch, and the Eater of Worlds. Placing Voidstones on your Atlas will raise the tier of all of its maps, eventually making them uniformly tier 16.
Oh yeah. Yes.
In Siege of the Atlas, we've removed the concept of Atlas regions entirely. This means that we're saying goodbye to regional Atlas passive trees and hello to a single gigantic Atlas passive tree.
Yes!
Good old Path of Exile.
Yeah,
this
baby.
This new tree has over 600 passives available to choose from, and you can earn 117 Atlas passive skill points by completing your Atlas. Each different map you complete the bonus objective of grants you 1 skill point. You can also earn some extra ones by completing the Maven multi-boss fights. Whenever you allocate an Atlas passive skill, its stats apply to every map you run anywhere on the Atlas. Also, because it's much faster to complete earlier maps on the Atlas, your Atlas point acquisition is pretty front-loaded, letting you quickly establish an Atlas layout that helps you find and profit from your favorite content.
Yes.
We've integrated some skills from past regional Atlas trees and have created several new ones, like Secret Operations, which turns some of the strongboxes you encounter into a new type of strongbox that drops scarabs. Corrupted Gaze causes Abyssal Jewels to sometimes drop Corrupted with 5 or 6 modifiers rather than the typical 4.
Yes.
Ghastly Devotion guarantees that areas that contain ritual altars will always contain 4 altars.
Yes.
Having one massive Atlas tree means that you can deeply specialize in certain types of content without being limited to what was available in a specific region. You can increase how often you encounter your favorite content and can adjust how challenging and rewarding that content is.
Yes.
The removal of Atlas regions means that you have more freedom to run the maps you like without being forced into regions of the Atlas that have passives that affect the content you wanted to play. The topic of map drops is also important here. Powerful characters are capable of playing very juiced maps, which results in them finding a lot of items, including more maps. Often, they get more maps than they actually need. Weaker characters have to be more careful with what mods they add to their maps, and hence find fewer maps. This new Atlas tree lets you choose how much you want to invest in the map tier upgrade that used to be the Atlas completion bonus, which means that powerful characters who don't need extra maps can instead focus those points on improving the rewards from content they play. On the other hand, weaker characters can invest in finding better maps, and can then respec this later on once they're finding a surplus. We'll make the full tree available next week so that you can start planning before Siege of the Atlas launches.
Path of building. Atlas
Every large
map.
Path of Exile expansion needs a new way to create the most powerful items in the game. Siege of the Atlas introduces a new endgame item mechanic called Eldritch Implicit Modifiers.
Of course it does.
A problem we had with the old Shaper, Elder, and Conqueror influence system was that while the items were extremely powerful, they had to be crafted using highly specialized and complicated methods. A regular influenced item you found on the ground usually wasn't of much value, unless it was a certain base type at a specific item level. Influenced items were generally not that useful in early, mid, or even most high-end maps, as they were basically a post-endgame feature. Our new system of Eldritch Implicits allows you to apply Eldritch mods to already good items that you have, so that you have a lot more freedom to choose how you create your best items. You can also start interacting with Eldritch Implicits much earlier in your mapping experience.
You can already do that.
As you know, Path of Exile items can have an implicit mod that either comes built into the item based on what type it is, or can be modified with systems such as Vile Corruption. Eldritch Implicits replace existing implicit mods, but with a twist. An item is allowed to have one Eldritch Implicit from the Searing Exarch and one from the Eater of Worlds at the same time. These implicits have many different tiers and several ways to interact with them. While playing maps in Siege of the Atlas, you may find some new currency items. Eldritch Ember and Eldritch Ichor corresponding to the Searing Exarch and the Eater of Worlds respectively. These currency items can be applied to gloves, helmets, body armors, or boots, and overwrite the item's regular implicit mods with new ones from 2 special pools of powerful modifiers. As I mentioned before, an item can have both a Searing Exarch implicit and an Eater of Worlds implicit at the same time. Applying the same type of orb multiple times will overwrite the appropriate mod with a new random one. These gloves have a single Eldritch implicit mod which grants you the ability to gain Rage on hit, rate limited by a cooldown. There are 2 Eldritch implicit mods on this helmet. The first one simply grants some added fire damage with spells. The second implicit causes enemies within a radius near you to be unable to regenerate life.
Enemies regenerate life.
Each mod has 6 tiers of power. The first 4 tiers come from the 4 versions of the Eldritch Ember and Ichor currency items, while the highest 2 tiers can only be upgraded to with a special item we'll explain soon.
Okay.
The first tier of Eldritch Ember or Ichor drops on all maps and means that any important build-enabling mods are available without having to complete the entire atlas. The second and third tiers come from exploring maps influenced by the Eldritch Horrors, and the 4th tier drops from the Searing Exarch or the Eater of Worlds themselves.
Of course.
You may be wondering how you get access to the 5th and 6th tiers. This requires some luck and planning. The Maven and her encounters have a chance to drop the Orb of Conflict. When used on an item with 2 Eldritch Implicits, the Orb of Conflict lowers the tier of one implicit mod and increases the tier of the other. This allows you to manipulate the balance between the 2 types of implicits. The best possible outcome is to have a tier 6 and a tier 4 mod at the same time. In order to achieve this, you'd want to apply the highest Eldritch Ember or Eldritch Ichor over and over until you have a tier 4 modifier that you want. Then use Orbs of Conflict to try to get it to tier 6 before using more Ember and Ichor to lock in the tier 4 mod of the other type that you're looking for.
So,
we have made sure that the power of these modifiers is available earlier in maps so that you get access to them when you need them, rather than after you need them. Also, none of the new implicit mods have item level restrictions that prevent them from being applied to an item. There are also conditional versions of Eldritch implicit mods that are only enabled when specific types of enemies are in your presence. These ramp up in power as the condition gets more restrictive. These conditional mods are designed for players who feel that they have sufficient clear speed for easier monsters and want to specialize in being even more effective against the really tough bosses where it matters.
Okay.
Items with Eldritch Implicits can also have a property of being dominated by one of the Eldritch Horrors. If an item has a higher tier Searing Exarch mod, then it is considered dominated by the Searing Exarch. Conversely, if the mod for the Eater of Worlds is higher tier, then it is considered dominated by the Eater of Worlds. Domination matters for 3 new currency items we're introducing. The Eldritch Chaos Orb will reroll the prefixes of an item if it is dominated by the Searing Exarch, or the suffixes if the item is dominated by the Eater of Worlds. The same is true for the Eldritch Exalted Orb and the Eldritch Orb of Annulment, which add or remove a prefix or suffix depending on which horror dominates the item. These very rare currency items give you a large degree of control over your endgame rare item crafting if you're able to manipulate the Eldritch Implicits correctly. It's important to note that you can't apply Eldritch Implicit mods to influenced items. By that, I mean items that have the old type of Shaper, Elder, or Conqueror influence.
I guess that has to be a thing for balance.
The Siege of the Atlas expansion contains a whole roster of new unique items, which drop from the 4 new Atlas bosses we have introduced.
Okay.
All of these are powerful uniques, and we'll show you 6 of them today. The Ashes of the Stars Onyx Amulet increases the level of all of your skill gems and grants them an additional 20% quality. It also improves the reservation efficiency of your skills and lets you level all of your gems faster, which is really useful for gems such as Empower and Enlighten. The big boost to quality is very valuable with some alternate quality gems, as well as certain skills like curses.
That's okay, that's pretty good,
The Dissolution of the Flesh prismatic jewel changes the way that you interact with incoming damage. While you have this jewel equipped, damage is taken in the form of a temporary reservation to your life pool. If you reserve 100% of your life, you die. This allows you to ignore life recovery completely, since the actual amount of life you have left is irrelevant as long as you manage the timing of your life reservation. The Polaric Devastation Opal Ring introduces a new debuff called Covered in Frost, and gives you another way to apply the existing Covered in Ash debuff. This is a solid ring for anyone specializing in either fire or cold damage. In a similar vein to Covered in Ash, Covered in Frost causes the target to take 20% increased cold damage and lowers their critical strike chance. The Ceaseless Feast spiked gloves have a new debuff called Corrosion, which you can stack up on enemies to remove their armor and evasion. This is not only a great way to reduce their physical damage reduction, but the gloves also have an additional bonus that applies when you have stripped away all of the enemy's armor or evasion.
Okay.
We are also introducing a pair of very rare aspirational unique jewels, Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh. Each of these jewels drops from one of the 2 new Pinnacle Atlas bosses, and they are certainly unique in that they must work together to unlock their potential.
Of course.
They require the user of the jewel to be a specific class, and they roll with a modifier that specifies a random ascendancy skill from one of the ascendancies of that class. If you are able to equip both a Forbidden Flame and a Forbidden Flesh jewel that specify the same skill, and if you meet the class requirement, then you will be granted that ascendancy skill. For example, if you're a Deadeye and find a Forbidden Flame jewel that specifies the Master Surgeon skill from the Pathfinder class, then upon finding and equipping a matching Forbidden Flesh jewel, you will gain the Master Surgeon skill. These jewels open up many new build possibilities for very late endgame characters. The favored map system allows you to find more of the maps that you want.
That's pretty saucy!
In the old Atlas, there were 3 favored map slots available to unlock in each region.
Damn.
Now that regions have been removed, favored map slots can be unlocked by meeting various objectives like completing a Tier 16 map or defeating an Elder Guardian. There are 12 favored map slots that can be unlocked. These now apply to all map drops on the Atlas, rather than affecting map drops in just one region. Each slot provides a 10 times multiplier to how frequently its corresponding map drops, relative to other maps. You can select 12 different maps as your favored maps, or you can put the same map type in all 12 slots for a massive 120 times boost to its occurrence in your drop pool. This is particularly powerful once you've socketed all 4 Void Stones into your Atlas.
Burial chamber farming when?
With a 120 times multiplier applied to a specific map. In
Tower
this case,
farming
the specific
when?
map you have chosen will constitute over 50% of all Tier 16 maps. Sextants can be found from Tier 14 onwards and are applied to Void Stones.
Okay.
When you use one on a Void Stone, it affects your whole Atlas. Because Void Stones come from the highest tier content, we've removed Simple Sextants and Prime Sextants, as they can no longer be used when you would typically acquire them. We've added the mods from these Sextants to the pool of mods that Awakened Sextants have. Because this dilutes the pool of mods that Awakened Sextants can roll, we've increased the frequency at which you acquire Awakened Sextants. Your existing Simple and Prime Sextants will be converted to Awakened Sextants at the launch of Siege of the Atlas.
Thank you.
We have made no changes to Elevated Sextants.
Thank you. Oh.
With the new Atlas system as context, we have done a balance pass of all Sextant mods. This resulted in a slight reduction to the amount of content or monsters that a given Sextant mod introduces to an area. We've removed the Nemesis Monsters Drop 3 additional currency items mod, both because it's busted, and because it's incompatible with our future plans for the Arch Nemesis League content. We've also added a whole bunch of new Sextant modifiers.
Arch Nemesis
The general intention
Headhunter?
behind these new mods is that they give a strong benefit while adding extra difficulty, or reward players for specializing into having other leagues present in an area. For example, there's a Sextant mod that ensures that all breaches in an area belong to Chayula. So if you can maximize the number of breaches through Scarabs, map device modifiers, the Atlas passive tree, or other Sextants, then you've got a whole bunch of valuable Chayula breaches in that map. With the removal of Watchstones, players would have lost the ability to swap in and out Watchstones with different Sextant modifiers on them depending on which maps they were running.
Nice.
We like the strategic use of Sextants, so we have reintroduced this behavior with a new currency item called the Surveyor's Compass. This can be applied to a Void Stone with a Sextant mod on it to itemize that Sextant mod for later use or trade. This currency item drops periodically and is also sold by Karrick for 1 Chaos Orb, similar to how Einhaar sells Bestiary Orbs. There's no limit on how many you can purchase.
Oh, that's Pog.
With Zana gone, you may be wondering what is happening to
Sextant
her
mod
Atlas
scale
missions.
selling.
Well, Karrick is taking over from her, but it
Easy
works a
money.
little differently now. Karrick has assumed the position of commander, and he has important missions for you to carry out in the Atlas. You open these missions at your map device and can run them just like before. However, you won't encounter Karrick inside a map, and you won't be able to apply Karrick objectives to a map itself. Because of this, we have raised the chance that you receive a Karrick Atlas objective when you defeat a map boss. Previously, Zana's missions had completion objectives, but with the removal of the favor system, this stopped mattering. Instead of focusing on completion, Karrick missions now focus more on rewards, and so their purpose is to provide you with additional league content or extra item drops.
Nice.
Instead of your free daily mission being based on the last map you've completed, it's now based on the highest tier map you've completed in this current league. For example, if you completed a tier 16 map, your daily missions will always be high tier maps. Karrick missions can now include additional content like Conquerors, Ritual Encounters, Expedition Encounters, and even Monstrous Treasure, the former prophecy that makes an area contain 24 to 36 additional strongboxes with no natural monster inhabitants. Karrick now sells you maps, much like Zana did in the past, except there is now a wider variety of outcomes with variance on the prices, so you should probably go and check what he's selling more frequently in case there's a good deal. The items in the window are re-rolled under the same conditions as Zana's previous shop. Karrick can sell maps that come with implicit mods enabling various content, for example, a map that always has a Legion encounter, or maps that have varying degrees of deliriousness on them.
5 chance orbs?
As you play through maps, you'll occasionally find Atlas scouting reports, essentially communication about important missions from other people who scouted the Atlas and didn't survive.
At least one Breachstone mission.
These items can be used like a currency map to re-roll the set of mission maps that Karrick is offering you. These new maps have a different set of mission outcomes that includes valuable ones like
I can only
guaranteeing
be so
a unique
erect.
map, having all maps be corrupted, always including a Shaper Guardian, Elder Guardian, or Conqueror, having only uncompleted maps available, or adding a Breachstone to the selection. The value here is not only the reroll of what is offered to you, but also the guarantee of one or more high-value missions. On the Atlas passive tree, you can specialize into finding more Atlas scouting reports or unlocking new types that can drop. Karrick also sells the aforementioned Surveyor's Compass used to itemize Sextant mods, as well as everything else Zana previously sold, like specific divination cards.
This is the league.
Despite them not being part of the core Atlas experience anymore, it's still possible to fight Cirrus and the Conquerors to take advantage of their influence and unique item rewards. Tier 14 or higher map bosses now have a chance to drop maps influenced by the Shaper, the Elder, or a random Conqueror. You can also purchase these maps from Karrick. When you enter the map, you'll be met with hordes of influenced monsters that can drop influenced items. Upon defeating the map boss, a portal will open to the Conqueror's arena. Upon death, the Conqueror will drop a fragment. Each Conqueror has their own fragment. Combine all 4 fragments in your map device to open a set of portals to the Cirrus encounter.
Nice.
As it's now harder to get influenced items, we've moved plus level gem modifiers into the global mod pool for amulets. So it's now possible to get the powerful +2 levels to certain gems without having to use influenced amulets.
Nice.
Now that Cirrus and the Conquerors are no longer core parts of Atlas gameplay, they will not drop awakened gems. These gems can now drop from Maven invitations.
I suppose.
Arch Nemesis is a challenge league that reinvigorates fights with rare monsters.
There it is.
It introduces around 60 new monster mods and allows you to customize your rare boss fights to control your level of risk and reward. These mods can be combined in over 35 recipes to create new, more powerful and rewarding mods. As you play through the league, you'll discover more recipes and learn how to best utilize them to get the most valuable rewards.
Craft your boss.
When you slay regular rare and magic monsters in the Arch Nemesis League, they sometimes drop an itemized version of a new Arch Nemesis monster modifier. You store these in a dedicated inventory panel so they don't clutter your regular inventory. Over the course of each area you play, you'll encounter 4 monsters that are frozen in place, petrified, and bound to an Arch Nemesis statue. When you find such a monster, you can free it by empowering it with an Arch Nemesis mod. If you're able to successfully defeat the empowered monster, then you will receive the fixed reward that corresponds to that modifier.
Nice.
The trick that makes this league awesome is the 4 petrified monsters per area.
Did somebody say boss builds?
Accumulate as you play through the area. When you empower your second monster, it also has the mod you applied to the first monster. This results in a fight that has twice as many dangerous mods and twice as many rewards. Even though you receive the reward from the first mod when you killed the first petrified monster, you receive a second reward of that type when you kill the second petrified monster. The same applies to the 3rd and 4th fights in the area as well. By the time you defeat the 4th monster, you'll have received the first reward 4 times, the second reward 3 times, and so on.
So
Take
basically
care when
put the
picking
best
what order
reward
you
first.
consume your mods so that you can maximize your rewards.
Put the one you want to earn the most
More than
first.
half of the available mods are created by combining other mods together on the same monster. As an example of how this works, if you apply both Incendiary and Hasted to the same monster, then in addition to the rewards that these 2 mods grant, you will also receive an itemized Flamewalker mod upon killing the monster. This can then be applied to another petrified monster later on to complete further recipes. These recipe mods yield substantially more dangerous encounters and have more valuable rewards. Even if you're not completing a recipe with your modifiers, you can still combine them to get some ridiculous combinations of rewards. For example, defeating an Innocence-touched enemy grants 3 currency rewards and converts all other rewards into currency. Defeating a mirror image enemy grants a divination card reward and rerolls all rewards 3 times, yielding the rarest result. Killing a Flamewalker enemy grants 3 weapon rewards. Killing a toxic enemy grants a generic reward plus a gem reward. If you were to kill an enemy with all 4 modifiers, you get a total of 9 currency rewards, each rolled 3 times and dropping the best result. But if you apply the mods in the order mentioned above, then as you kill each of the 4 monsters in the area, you'll receive the earlier rewards multiple times. The end result is the equivalent of getting 60 currency rewards and receiving the best 20 plus 3 regular currency rewards.
Yeah, that's...
As you can see from this example, even the basic rewards that offer say 3 random weapons are really useful because you can combine them with reward conversion mods to take advantage of their high item counts. We're looking forward to seeing what other types of crazy ways you manage to combine your arch nemesis rewards.
Currency reward all the way.
There are more than 4 possible locations where you may encounter petrified monsters in each area, but only the first 4 you encounter can be empowered and fought.
That's all people ever care about.
Arch-Nemesis mods cannot be traded with other players. Your progress is your own. We designed this league to be a relatively simple one to go alongside all of the new Atlas content in this expansion, and it exceeded our expectations. The fights are fun, the rewards are punchy, and there are a lot of tough decisions about which reward combinations or recipes you can pursue.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's
in Siege of the Atlas,
Metamorph,
our balance goal is to take 2 very
Metamorph
common gameplay
2.0
archetypes
with a bit
that
of
struggle
flavor
with endgame content and to buff them so that they're
everything.
in a much better
I
place
haven't
compared
eaten
to
a
other builds.
bite of my food, by the way.
The ones we are targeting are hit damage bow characters and hand-casting spellcasters. If you haven't checked out the balance manifesto about these changes that we posted recently, I'd encourage you to read all about them in the patch notes that will be posted when the livestream ends.
Of course they make...
To be clear, this expansion does have a few of the usual nerfs to the most overperforming builds, but for the most part, the majority of balance changes are buffs. The goal is that players who play hit damage bow builds and hand-casting spellcasters are significantly more competitive. Alongside Siege of the Atlas, we're introducing 2 new types of stash tab, one for flasks and one for gems. A side effect of this is that you're able to set your regular tabs to have affinity for flasks or gems, regardless of whether you've purchased the new specialized tabs. The gem stash tab allows you to easily store and sort your collection of up to 500 skill and support gems. By default, it displays all gems stored in the tab, but you can use one of the 4 categories at the top to filter between red, green, blue, and white gems. There's a drop-down that allows you to pick your preferred sorting method, such as current gem level, required level, or quality, to easily find whatever gem you're looking for. The Flask Stash tab allows you to store 500 flasks and can be filtered to show life, mana, hybrid, utility, and unique flasks. You can also use the drop-down to change the sort order between item level, base type, and quality. This allows you to quickly find flasks of a certain type, potential flasks to vendor for glassblowers baubles, or high item level flasks for crafting. Remember that regardless of whether you purchase these new tabs, you'll still be able to set up affinities for gems or flasks on your existing stash tabs.
Oh yeah.
Alongside the launch of Siege of the Atlas, we are hosting a competitive event where players will race to be the first to kill a trio of bosses, the Maven, the Searing Exarch, and the Eater of Worlds. The event will take place in the hardcore solo self-found Arch-Nemesis League. We have some interesting prizes in store for the winners.
I'm good.
Keep an eye on the news next week for more details about how this event
will work and what the
prizes are.
Oh, they get all the prizes.
We're almost at the Q&A, but first I'd like to show you the new supporter packs we're releasing today to help fund development of future Path of Exile expansions. Our new packs are called the Worm and Emberkeep supporter packs.
Hi, Star Wars on the right there. Fucking what?
Like our recent League packs, there are 3 tiers available, each of which include points equivalent to the cost of the pack, plus many exclusive cosmetic microtransactions like apparition effects, armor sets, weapon skins, forum badges, titles, and social frames.
Of course.
The Worm series comes with an exclusive pet, and the Emberkeep series comes with an exclusive weapon effect. These new packs are in addition to the 2022 core packs that we released recently. Remember to check those out if you haven't already.
Okay.
That concludes the reveal portion of this livestream. Keep an eye on our news next week as we unveil more details about the Siege of the Atlas expansion and the Arch-Nemesis League. In the meantime, these reveals are already live on YouTube for you to link to your friends in case they missed the livestream. Please spread the word, and join us as we explore the Atlas alongside you next week. It's now time for the Q&A. If you have any questions about what we've shown you today, please get them ready because I'm about to be joined by Ziggy D as we answer your questions from Twitch
I'm
chat.
ready to go change my diaper,
we'll be posting the full Path of Exile Siege of the Atlas patch notes.
Oh my god. Yeah. What can I say about that? Besides, holy fucking shit! Oh my god, dude, are you fucking kidding me? That's yes. Just simply yes. That had everything I wanted and more. Now look, I freaking was like absolutely pogging out over flasks and gem stashes, which is such an arbitrary thing, right? It's like, oh, who gives a fuck, yeah? But, oh, dude, I don't know what it, like, I always wanted that kind of stash tab, and look, you know, it kind of feels like, whatever, but at the same time, I always end up having a tab just full of fucking flasks that I then eventually turn into glass blowers. Because I'm annoying like that. That's the kind of currency I like to just collect. Same with gems. I always pick up quality gems and then eventually make a bunch of, you know, GCP. I think that's what it's called. Fuck, dude, that's huge. For me, that's huge. Other people say, I gotta look at that, go, fucking, I don't give two shits about flask. I'll buy 5 flasks off the fucking marketplace and I'm done, right? Fucking max quality. I'll let someone else fucking deal with that. Oh, but that's huge. And by level and by quality, for level wise, that's going to be good for, like, you know, obviously for crafting and stuff like that, especially since now they're adding a lot of crafting to the flasks. But to me, like everything was huge, but my brain's like, that's what it's thinking about right now. Fucking flasks and gems, baby, let's go. Oh my god, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's so much that I don't even know what's being, you know, what like I'm just like I fucking forgot half the shit that was said. Oh, okay. First of all, where's the that boss is chunky boy from Scourge, dead ass. Look at that guy. It's Delirium Chunk. That is a Zeri 2.0. I mean, look at that lady. Love her design, by the way. Her arena too. Like, I'm assuming that's her arena. That's amazing. Look at that. That's oh man. Look at that. Actually, that kind of also gives me. I mean, I think that's probably very, very, you know, reused assets. But it's okay. Don't tell anyone. Solaris Lunaris, at Zeri, basically. That's exactly what that looks like to me. This man. This motherfucker, when I first saw him, I was fucking gone, bro. My mind my eyes rolled in the back of my head metaphorically. Look at my man had to do it to him, you know what I'm saying? He just had to do it to him. Oh my god, dude, let's go. Look at this fucking dude. Look at this dude. Mwah, 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 beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This man right here, this thing, oh man, I'm never gonna fight him. Never fighting this motherfucker, because he's probably gonna be way too hard, right? That pinnacle content. But if I was gonna like chase a guy, this boy right here, I'm gonna chase this man, cause this is like Baron on roids. It's probably what it's gonna be. Like, I mean, I'm seeing this arena, you know what I'm saying? It's got that Templar iconography. This is Baron on roids, and this is just Elder Mommy. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It's because you got that slim, you know, fit. This is Elder Mommy. Absence of symmetry and harmony. I don't know, man. Them tentacles looking kind of sus at me, you know what I'm saying? Oi, oi, oi. Oh, but dude, look at this. Look at this. You got a lot of fire on this guy, but I don't know how I feel about that. Elder Mommy. If anyone pretends it's otherwise, slap him. It's Elder Mommy right there. That's Elder Mommy. You know, just the vibe. Oh my god. See what I mean though? Hold on. Oop. Stuffing up. Look at that. Look at that lady, bro. Look at that shit. That also this Atlas design. Look, originally, look, I liked what they did with it, but my brain almost sees it as well. Like it's like, you know, like frontiers. You know, the further you go, like it's the frontier, the further reaches of the atlas, and you know, like you start at the sort of the base, and then you sort of spread out. So man, I'm hoping they do more with that. You know what I mean? Eventually, maybe like don't split the atlas anymore, but like you can follow a branch up, and that's gonna lead somewhere. You know. That, by the way, this right here, this gem jewel, sorry, not gem, this jewel is insane in some degree. Like, some builds are gonna like absolutely lose their shit in terms of the way you can use that. I want to know if you can use that on a Scion. That's what I want to know, because if you can use that on a Scion, you can do a lot of things with that. You can do, it's just insane how much you can do. It's a big one. Of course, there's also potentially Elementalist. I don't know, man. Shit's crazy. Shit's crazy. Dude, potentially? Ooh! Like, the biggest one I'm thinking of is Elementalist. Potentially huge things you can do, because there's a lot of Elementalist shit is like that works together from memory, like the way it works together. The influence stuff, I mean, look, they tried to sort of be like, oh, you know, we're sort of heading away from that, and we're trying to, you know, the Conqueror's influence was kind of, but then they're like, yeah, but you know, at the same time, we're gonna do the exact same thing, which is gonna make it even more convoluted, where you need to balance two influences by slamming one orb and then slamming another, and then once you slam that, you need to basically, more or less, like it's literally like a pseudo Awakener Maven slam where it fucking the thing at least doesn't get rid of it. Look, that's the only upside. At least it doesn't get rid of it. Fucking love the Baron mission stuff where they did the upgrade. Where, you know, it's no longer she was obsolete. Zana was obsolete. You know, it stopped mattering like how long ago. So the fact that it's now just, hey, here's your boy. Here's a mission. Here's more loot. Boom, go. Just fucking go. Explore, child. Frolic in the Atlas. That's beautiful. And you can reroll his missions, and they can have like Legion encounter. My God, dog. On this, look, I in my heart of hearts, I knew this was happening. I knew this was gonna be a thing. You know, I 100% knew this was gonna be a thing. Like, it is not even a fucking competition or a conversation. This I knew was happening. Like, and what can I say? I fucking love it. This right here is good. And like he said, it's front loaded. It's front load, so you're not gonna be sitting there like, let me just play the entire Atlas before we can have fun. It's like the fucking South Park. I can finally have fun now. I can enjoy the game. So good. You're still gonna have to path, because I don't know. It seems like there's one starting point. So like, if there's like, as you can see on the outer layer there, you're still gonna like obviously have to path. But I'm assuming the stuff on the outer layers is like the bossing shit, because you know it's further away. While the stuff in the middle is gonna be more the, like, I'm seeing Legion there. I think I see there's Ritual. There's another Legion node. There's a on the outskirts here. There's your, you know, your Syndicate node, your Temple. I think that's the strong boxes. That's something, not quite sure what that looks like, but that looks familiar. Some sort of hand, more Ritual. Oh, that's Delirium, that's Breach, you know. So, you know, you got a few little knickknacks sprinkled around here and there. But it's, you know, it's still gonna be, you still be pathing, you know. For example, this node right here. This looks like a really huge, what is that either? What is that node? It doesn't quite look like Legion. Might be the Banshees, because not Legions. What am I on about? Abyss. This is Abyss. This is the Abyss one right there. That might be the, yeah, like the what are they freaking called? The dumb ghosts. I'm pretty sure at this point everyone fucking hates, so hopefully that's gonna be spicy. Hopefully it's the original mod where it just pre-puts the ghost on the mob, so you don't have to fucking chase them around the map. But yeah, no, this right here, and dude, let's talk about that art though. Look at that fucking art in the background. This game is just getting better and better. It's just growing, dude. That's insane. Look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Oh, and dude, see, I feel like some people don't like the expansion leagues. These ones. So Metamorph, I think, was the expansion league for the previous one. Some people don't like them because they're too simple. Right? And they go, "Oh, well, the league itself was shit. It's a break league." But for me, Metamorph was my most fun at the time, most played league. In its simplicity, it makes it so fun. And when you constrict yourself, right? How do I make the most fun, but the most simple, most fun league mechanic possible with no bullshit, no complication, just plug and play, right? That's tend to be the more fun league mechanics. There are some exceptions that, some players want some more complication and want some more, deeper mechanics, but this, with the expansion, this league is just perfect. It's perfect. Simple. There's some complication here too, but you get your little fucking boss tokens. You open up. You have 4 tokens. All you're choosing is which rewards you want to come up the most and how far you want to take it. By the time you're playing endgame and you got a strong enough build, you'll be choosing 4 fucking choices anyway. That's not even a concern. You don't even have to think about that. You are probably choosing every time because it almost seems like you want to do a little crafting there. So it literally is. It's literally Metamorph with extra steps. It's just you can do it in the map, and you can just have a little more spiciness on it. But it's still just like this organ with this reward, this organ with this reward, this organ with it's just 4 organs, and the rewards are slightly more interesting. So if you hated Metamorph, you're probably gonna hate this. But just the visuals of it, I'm vibing with it, and it's simplicity. You know what I'm saying? It's simplicity. It for me, this league is gonna, it's gonna be beautiful. I love everything about it. I'm gonna hate it in some degree if it was because I said it in when I was watching too. Fucking if it's just currency in the innocence that give everything turns into a currency. Now, good thing you can't trade it, because otherwise that's all it would have just downgraded into that. Just fucking let's trade away my innocence boss thing token and fucking let someone else farm that currency, because it's all about the illusion of reward. But I hope it doesn't devolve just into that the best reward that they showed, that felt like the best reward in that entire, unless there's some scarab options and some stacked dex options potentially. But people only give a shit about currency, divination cards at a certain level, right? And scarabs. Fossils are like secondary, same with all the other stuff. No one will be like, can't wait to farm my 3 weapon drops, baby. Let's put that first. No one's gonna do it. No one gives a fuck about that at all. So that's kind of like, and I'm pretty sure GG knows it. That's there just to pad out the other reward, just to make that reward better. But yeah, no, look, I hope it doesn't turn into being sort of just like this sort of convoluted, like, well, I do Nemesis just for this reward chain and nothing else, and literally just going to be sitting there collecting all this sort of garbage that you might do just almost arbitrarily just to clean it out until you wait for the good shit. I hope that's not what happens, but hey, if it does, I'm going to be disappointed, but we'll see what it turns into. Bosses, it's a boss fighting league. What can I say? Just forget anything.
Will all perish.
Forget anything and everything. If you're watching some fucking YouTuber, fucking, Gazzy, or fucking, not that I'm a fucking professional in this, but, fucking Grim, the fucking clear queen of Path of Exile, fucking Taki or Ziz or whatever, or, Mathel. If any of one of them, I mean, sure, one of them's gonna be like, oh, but Clear's gonna be underutilized, so you can get in on that market. It's a bossing league. Just make yourself a bossing character. You're gonna be bossing. It's a bossing league. It's a bossing league. Okay. Have some Clear, but it's a bossing league. Okay. Oh man, that's about it. Look, I gotta tell you, that's the biggest impressions I have. I'm absolutely pogging out over this. This is gonna be an absolutely amazing fucking expansion. February 4th, which is just, a stone skip away. It's literally, oh my god, it's actually in a week. Holy shit. Yeah, so absolutely, guys. That's about it. First ever reaction video. Got into it. Don't worry about it. Look, I gotta tell you, I'm excited for this one. But yeah, that's about it. Peace, gamers.